And another Tuesday is upon us, which only means one thing. It's not the podcast week. That means it's Creators of Doughnut week. Hey!
Yay.
Anyway,
I was like, yay!
Yeah.
I'm meant to be more excited than that.
and we've already got a huzzah in the chat. Who says huzzah anymore? Well, Mrs. Slippers does.
Mrs. Lippers does.
Yes.
Mrs. Lippers.
Anyway, welcome everyone to Creators of the Doughnut Table, where this week we are going to be discussing behind the scenes. Today we're going to take a peek behind the curtain, which then in next week in the podcast will be behind the scenes, behind the scenes, and behind the scenes.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that like breaking the fourth wall?
I think we're breaking like.
It's a lot of scenes.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenes be
Yeah.
broken, but
Are we going to be spoiling the magic quack?
there ain't no magic about mine. We might be breaking Starlings today. We ain't breaking nothing of mine.
I'm already broken, guys. Go do thing.
Anyway, welcome everyone. Like I said, let's get the introductions out of the way. First of all, let's get it out of the way, but that sounds really horrible. Let's get the introductions. The worst thing is he knows it's coming. Let's introduce first the co-host. It is Mr. Gaming Loft himself. Give him a golfing clap, everyone.
Thank you. Oh, I got a proper clap from Stallion. That's nice.
go.
No, we get a golf. No, yeah. From Quack. How you doing, Quack? How you been, man?
Hang on, I'm asking you that. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, mate. I'm good. I got electrical tape around my thumb, but other than that, I'm cracking, mate. I've got new sockets in the loft. I've got more sockets in the loft, so I'm absolutely buzzing.
So just for, again, behind the scenes, when me and Loft first joined this call, we were like, I said, you're all right, Loft? He's like, I am well happy. I was like, why? And I was like, he's like, because I've got three, is it three?
3 double sockets now.
I got
So
3
just
double
one
sockets
socket.
in my loft. I was like, that's when you know you're getting up in the world, when you got 3 double sockets in your room.
Yeah, there we go. With 100% behind the scenes now.
It's brilliant. Anyway, Loft, why are you all taped up? Why have you got electrical tape on your finger?
Because I ripped my nail off during rugby coaching this evening. So
And how far down to the nail? Just to give everyone the proper context.
Oh, it's just it's enough.
Yeah.
It bled. Yeah, it bled.
Oh,
F in the chat.
Nah.
it just gives me like oh no. Anyway, but we're not just joined by Loft today. Quite clearly, we have our guest today, which is none other than the great Stallion.
Hello.
Got to do the golf clap.
We get proper clap.
Okay.
He's a guest.
Appreciate it, guys.
Woo!
Yeah.
Sorry.
There you go. That's more like it. Yeah.
No. Or for Stallion's sake, and this is literally just a joke to Loft. Should we just have a better clap, which is of course the Joe Henry clap, which is.
Oh, dude.
Sorry. Stallion's like, hey, who's that guy?
At least you're not arguing about the home of rugby this time, though.
No, the thing is though, at least Stallion actually likes a decent sport. You know what I mean? American football is as close to rugby as you can get, whereas
Right.
you like a guy with bleach blonde hair.
Wait, what? Have I missed something?
Yeah.
That's who Joe. He's got a thing for Joe Hendry, mate.
Yeah, so
He's
Joe,
a wrestler.
He's
So
a-
basically,
he's a
he
Scottish wrestler.
worships Joe Hendry.
I have no idea who that is.
There you go.
That's
That's how you start a show. You have
Yeah.
no
Sorry, guys.
idea who your
This-
idol is. Quack.
all I can say. This is gonna be a long hour. At least this is gonna be long and painful because that's all I'm gonna think is. Stallion doesn't know who Joe Hendry is, as my stream deck is literally got Joe Hendry looking at me. Anyway, Stallion, how are you?
Good, mate. I'm good. How's things?
We're not bad. Everyone
Good.
believes in Joe Hendry, which is great. I forgot what I was gonna say. So yeah. So let's get the introductions out the way. We know who Lofty is. We know who I am.
Yeah.
But normally I would say, Stallion, you've never been on the Doughnut Table before. Who are you? But
Yeah.
you have been on the Doughnut Table before.
I have lots of donuts. Sometimes custard, sometimes jam, sometimes plain. Depends on what mood we're in. You know what I'm saying?
You can't do custard.
Why not? Custard is amazing.
No,
Yes, Stallion.
it's
Yeah, you know,
not.
Stallion. I'm going to give you a virtual high five for that, dude, because custard donuts, man. Yes, my dude.
Raise it there, sir.
Yeah,
Custard
yes.
are banging, man. Honestly, it's so good.
Oh no. Because you you were knighted, were you not, by Mr. TSU?
I was, and it was for my love of custard donuts. And it wasn't, but it'd be funny if it was.
No, you were a part of the live creators of the Dawn Table, which was at Insomnia. But before we get into that, because I want to touch onto that a little bit. For the people who, I don't know how, but people who don't know you, give us a little 411 of who you are.
Oh man, God, I don't even know who I am anymore. It's been a long.
Hang on. You started with God. That was the first. Yeah. I said, "Who are you?" and you went, "God."
No, I'll go with the more that own man part rather than the God. But yeah, my name is Stallion, or some know me as Marco. 33 years old, 34 this year. Wow, where have the years gone? Massive lover of games. Been doing streaming and content now for the last 7 years. Been doing talent management now for almost the last year, and yeah, the last 7 have been way wilder than the first 26. So that's a very short summary of the last 33 years of my life. That's for sure.
I'd be worried now, Stallion, that during Quack's streams that he's gonna have a picture of you in his stream instead of Joe Hendry now, because the fact you said, "Who are you?" and you went, "God."
I don't know if I can match the whole like yellow hair, like blonde hair and like grey beard, but next time you see me, I might try it just to see how it goes.
We all know who the true God is. Joe Hendry, just like a tweet, do something. Anyway, as I said, Stanley, you were on the live creators of the Dawn Table at Insomnia, which was it would have been what, 2022 would have been.
God, it's been that long already.
I think it has.
Wow.
Because it was in 23.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds a bit more right. As always, I always like talking about the lack of events these days, and it quite actually fits in well because you are an events manager, as you told me pre-thing.
That's my degree anyway, at least. Yeah.
So, Insomnia being gone. What's your thoughts on Insomnia being gone? What's your thoughts on the lack of events in the UK nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, sad. Obviously, when we were first starting this in like 2018, 2019, there was loads. We had Insomnia. We had, if you remember, Twitch London. If you've been around long enough to remember that, that was great. Kind of acted as like a let's be honest, everyone just got drunk, but it was still just like a good way to network with people, even though we all just got like smashed in the tunnel. So that was good. So I definitely miss the Twitch London events, Insomnia and stuff, and feels like the UK, especially events market for our industry, is very much on the decline. But it's nice to see some things still popping up and trying to keep it somewhat active, because I think everybody's just kind of desperate for something now, aren't they? Because all we really have, if you think about it, is format once a year. So aside that, you've obviously got like your EGXs and all your other kind of like industry style events, but like core creator events, I think we're really limited now.
Yeah, but even EGX though, I mean, from what we heard from some of the creators, even EGX was tiny. MCM put them in the corner.
Yep.
It was like you can have that little tiny space over there. You see that little square we've taped out. There you go. You can have that EGX.
Yeah, that's all we're worth to them now, unfortunately.
I would say, because every time we talk about events, format always comes up. The other one that always comes up is Timeless.
Yeah. Timeless is great.
And then EGX as well. But other than that, it's like the only sort of events that are coming out now are the Twitch meetups, which are not. Yeah, they are events, but they're not really. They're no Insomnias. Do you know what I mean?
No, they're creator events, though, aren't they? I mean, they're events. I mean, similar to like you were saying, like the London events, even Twitch London. That's similar to the meetups that Twitch are powering now. I mean, you've also got. I mean, I think there's some other London events that are being planned by some creators, but it's not industry-led events, though, are they? They're not events for where, as a creator, you can go and speak to industry professionals. Say professionals, you're one yourself, but you can speak to like brands and promote yourself directly to a brand rather than put an email out.
Yeah, I think it's really sad, especially with the loss of Insomnia, because it was kind of all of that, wasn't it? It was the brands, it was the creators, it was not even just to mention where it was in Birmingham, right? With it being such a central location, it was just so easy to get to for a lot of people. So yeah, massive loss, but it is what it is, guys, and it's just something that we just have to keep moving forward without, unfortunately.
And Mr. Slippers has said, I know I'm not, and I know Lofty's not. So, Stallion, are you going to TwitchCon this year? Have you considered TwitchCon?
Yeah, I think Europe. I think we're doing TwitchCon Europe. I know we're in the plans of doing TwitchCon Europe, but to be confirmed. I'd love to go back and do the States again, but I've done San Diego twice already, and it's it's just expensive. It's a long way away, and it's like I love California, but it's just So Rotterdam is potentially on the cards. We'll see.
So I mean, sorry, Quack. I was just gonna say, just because you touched on the events, Quack, that we've had over here and Insomnia and things like that. The TwitchCon over in the States, compared to the events over here, I'm guessing typical States, everything's massive. Everything's a lot bigger, a lot louder compared to what we have over here in the UK.
Yeah, I would say so. Obviously, different styles of creators that go out there as well. Because I've done, I think it was the first year I was streaming, I did Berlin and then San Diego, and then I did Amsterdam and then San Diego, and it definitely feels like a bit of a shift in like the way that the event is run, like how big it is, kind of like just like the culture of the event and stuff, and even some of the brands that are there, because obviously like a lot of them are quite based in the States, whereas what's relevant over here might not be something that a lot of them will consider. So I would say if you ever get the chance to go San Diego, even just outside of TwitchCon, do it, because it is such an amazing place.
All I was going to say was, as you were saying, I've done San Diego twice. It's a long way away.
Long way away.
I was just going to ask if when the VOD goes up, can we have that gif of Neil deGrasse Tyson going, we got a badass over here. Sorry. You have to go all the way to San Diego twice. How dare you?
Yeah, I mostly did it for a holiday, if I'm honest. Like, it is, I mean, if you're going that far, you ain't going there for a weekend. And if you are from the UK, then there is something seriously tapped with that person.
Could you imagine the conversation with the missus? Like, we're going to San Diego for a holiday. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, we're going to TwitchCon. So
we're back on Monday.
We're going to TwitchCon. We're literally we can go all the way to San Diego just for us to hang out with all the creators, and then we're coming straight back.
Yeah.
So we're not seeing San Diego properly then. No.
Yeah, I'll be left in San Diego. I won't be allowed to come back.
So, right, can I tell you, this has got nothing to do with content creation, but it's very similar to that story, Loft. So for my 30th birthday, which was in 2020, yes, I am that old. I'm saying that like. Me and Sally are not that different in age.
About to say, yeah.
I would say it's not that bad. Anyway,
I was going to say, you pair of make me feel really old now, so shut your face.
Make sure you
Wait, how old are you, Loft?
I'm 41.
That's fair.
Oh, wow.
No, I don't mean as in like no, I mean like that's a fair age. I don't think that's that old. I mean, if Panda's saying he's old,
right.
I'm just saying. Anyway, guys, I'll leave this one for you guys after the cast is done. This is the one and only time I'm ever going to get featured on here, guys. It's been a pleasure. Thanks very much.
Stallion, you can have a weekly regular spot if you're going to pump out that kind of stuff. Anyway, my story is, you're talking about going to TwitchCon for literally like a weekend and coming back. So for my 30th in 2020, it fell on the day of WrestleMania, which, if anybody doesn't know you're wrestling, it is the biggest wrestling event of the year. And every April is massive. So Mrs. Quack at Christmas gave me 2 envelopes. One of them was that saying we were going to Disneyland, Florida, for your birthday. I was like, that's when WrestleMania is. I was like, great. I think it's fallen on my birthday like twice. And it's like 39-year run. And I was like, right, okay, great, happy days. Then the envelope said, we're going to WrestleMania. And I was like, boy, yes, get in there. And I said, unless we're in Disney, I said, we're literally doing everything wrestling, because when WrestleMania goes to a certain state, which was Florida, it takes over the state. You can't get away with it. April 2020, everyone. Can you remember what happened in April 2020? Lockdown! I don't care.
I broke my nose.
Right, yeah. But it was lockdown! And it wasn't until I think the week before we were supposed to go that we got our flights cancelled.
That's rough.
Like, Disney was closed. WrestleMania was barely gonna happen. They were like, and then we went to the flighty people. What's that called?
The what?
Travel agents. Jesus. Wow. My brain disappeared then. Travel agents. We went to the travel agents. We were like, look, because everything's cancelled, can we get our money back? They went, no, your flights are still going. So if you don't go, you don't get your money back. And then, like, it was the week of that, President Trump then, in this first run, turned around and cancelled all the flights, which, whoo, that was a close call. So, yeah, I could have gone to WrestleMania for my birthday just for that purpose, and I didn't. Devastated. Anyway.
God damn COVID.
God, COVID did bloody... Anyway. What were we talking about? Behind the scenes stuff. So
I was about to say, Quack. You need Quack. Less chatter. Get back on task.
we're gonna get onto task. So Stallion, the reason why you were the inspiration for this topic was because you are a full-time content creator. As you said, you've been doing it for the last 7 years.
Yeah, just over. So 7 years in Feb.
And that is 7 years full-time.
5 years full-time. I mean, arguably, you could say I'm doing it full-time now. But wait, hold on. Yeah, about 5 years full-time, if you class it as my sole income. And then kind of like 2 years is kind of like in between the kind of like part-time and full-time. That makes sense.
And like I say, the whole topic of behind the scenes was inspired by basically your partner, who is because we said that she clearly works alongside you, works with you. She doesn't, Stallion's a brand. She doesn't work for you at all.
I mean, she's in the two things, guys. One, she works in the room behind me, so she can hear everything I'm saying. And two, her name in the chat went from Neefy to Needy because everybody who writes her name accidentally autocorrects it to Needy. So that should tell you several things about the
hi,
Needy.
Needy.
Right
Welcome in, Needy.
AKA Neefy, yeah.
But
welcome in.
All I said was that she works alongside you. She works along with the Stallion brand. She doesn't work for you, does she? It's what I'm doing is completely, actually different.
I was going to say, technically, she is part. I mean, the Stallion brand is you and Neefy, isn't it?
I have to say yes, or else you ruin my chicken and rice. So I can't have that.
Because if you think, because like as Quack said, behind the scenes, you're the face of Stallion. Yeah. We know Neefy as well because you take a lot of photos. You bring from content for you. You go to events. She goes with you. But she's doing all the support side of things, isn't she? She's the behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'd say her role has adapted a lot over the last kind of like year. I mean, as you guys know, the content world is just never black and white. It is just constant change. So yeah, she began as like, my marketing manager, as that's where her her background is. That's what she's got a degree in and stuff. And then it just kind of evolved from there, really. She started helping me out with a lot of different content stuff. And to where we are now, she manages a lot of like the marketing assets side of my business, but also helps on what I do on the agency side as well. So, it's one of those things that without her, my life would just be even more insane. And if it got any more insane, guys, then I'd just quit. I don't have to do it. Couldn't do it anymore, man. I've had enough of doing it on my own. You know what I mean? So,
so my first official question to you is, you obviously, like you say, she helped you a lot because she doesn't stream herself. She's not, or is she a streamer? I don't know. She does stream.
No, she's not.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. So she's not a streamer, but she helped you a lot in the background of stuff. What?
Yeah.
Was it her who approached you about going full time with you, or was it a joint effort, or did you say to her, how would you feel about dropping your full time job to work with it and go on this mental journey that you're on?
Yeah, so no, it was fully my idea. Obviously, I bought my own house. We were living together, and she was, we had a spare room next door, which we turned from what was originally our master bedroom to our media space / her office. She calls it her office. I call it the media space. We'll call it her office to make her happy.
Yes.
But like it was one of those things where, like I said to you guys briefly, that I just knew, especially as I was getting older, that it was all too much. Like 5 years of just doing everything myself. You can only ever get like so far, and it starts to eventually it starts to wear down on you. So, I had the conversation with her on her experience. I was still doing really well in my career and stuff. So I thought, you know what? How would you feel about just, taking a part-time role and managing kind of like the marketing side of the business and, trying to bring me in like more brand deals and like, help with social media stuff. And then it just kind of like developed from there. Really, I brought her on like full time after literally 2 months, where we worked out kind of like what the deal was going to be, because I'd finally realized for the first ever time in my life that it's probably better that I don't try and do everything. And then when I finally had somebody there to help me with something, it was like, wow, I actually do have some form of a life back. You know, fast forward that to 1 year now, neither of us have a life now. So I'm just I kind of like dragged her into it and said, oh yeah, here's a bit of work to, okay, here's a full-time job, to me now having more to do. And now we're both like extremely busy. So I kind of screwed it up, but yeah, like I definitely would never go back to doing it all on my own, because I think you even underestimate the power of just having somebody to talk to every day, because I never really had that. Obviously I had my mum, but she never really like understood it as much as what I did. Whereas now it's like, if I make a big decision for the Stallion brand or the business, I can reflect with someone now. And that alone has probably solved about 400 PR disasters, because I'm quite an impulsive person. So yeah, no, it's just nice to have.
Like, shall I do this? Yes, let's do it. And then it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very, very
Yeah,
impulsive. I'm very impulsive, and she's very kind of like, let's just talk about it for a second. I'm like, no talking, let's just get stuff done. But yeah, no, I think the way that we both are, like, there's a very nice middle ground to be had there, and there's no coincidence that since we've worked together, things have just been incredible for the brand. So
Okay, so it's great that she's jumped in with you. So could you, if you imagine yourself, would you find yourself still making content if she hadn't stepped in, or do you think you would have gone through the thing that you see a lot of creators going through nowadays? It's like you get to the point where they just absolutely burn out. They've got no energy. You go live. You go live every day. You're multi-streaming, as well as doing editing, as well as doing promotional work. All the work that you do together as a brand. If you were doing that on your own, could you still see yourself still where you are now, or do you think you would have just lost it and just like, no, I'm done?
It's a hard one, really, because she came in at a really interesting time at the brand, because I had a really bad year in 2023. I made arguably a lot of like wrong decisions for myself. I was still kind of like, as you guys will know, like I was still flying on the lockdown high, because my channel blew up over lockdown through Call of Duty, a franchise that I don't really play in anymore. So I was coming out the back of lockdown, coming out the back of kind of like trying to move away from a certain franchise and stuff. So it was just kind of like I was in a bit of a weird space. And at the time where I brought her in, I was still doing esports at the university, because I was teaching for a year. So like she definitely helped to level out a lot of the things in the business, and that she helped to like assist with as well. So if I didn't have her, or like didn't bring her in, then yeah, it's really, really hard to say of where I'd be at right now. But I know we wouldn't get half the things done that we do now. That's for sure. 100%.
So it's quite ironically that Mrs. Quack's coming, because I was going to make a little thing of it, is that when you go to Nifi, is it nice, because you said it's nice to talk to someone, do you know when you have these what in your brain, because of course they're good ideas because they're your ideas, when you have these big brain ideas, do you find it so much better now you can just go to her and like, is this a stupid idea, or is this a really, really good idea that no one's ever thought about? Because for me, because Mrs. Quack doesn't stream pretty much at all, but like I can come up with these ideas and I just go, it's either I'm an absolute genius or I'm the biggest idiot that everyone has tried this and it's obviously not worked, or I'm a genius and no one's ever thought of this ever. Oh, I'm genius. And then I tell Mrs. Quack and she's like, no, that's not a good idea. I'm like, oh. And then she explains why. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a really bad idea, isn't it? So do you get the same with her? Not with Mrs. Quack, with Neefy, like.
No, Mrs. Quack sounds very much like Neefy, and I sound very much like you, Panda, where it's like, I have an idea to take over the world, and I go in there and tell her, she's like, no, you're going to burn the house down by doing that. And I'm just like, right, you know what, that makes sense. Probably should have thought about this before. So she definitely adds that level of kind of like, think about it, let's plan it before we kind of like pull the trigger. Definitely.
I think as a content creator, we've talked about Quack. We talked about this, didn't we, on the last show, and we talked about this on Doughnut Bites. The fact that content creators are always trying to one up each other, take it to that next level. Trying to go, what, as you Quack just said. People a couple of ideas. No one's ever tried this. I'm going to give it a go. And I think having that person, whether it be Mrs. Quack, whether it be Neefy, whether it be Lofty, because I always talk to Lofty and getting good ideas with him. You know, sometimes that grounding is needed because, like, okay, yeah, it's great, it's a great idea, but is it financially viable? Is it going? Are you going to hurt yourself? Are you going to break something? Are you going to cause the brand to be damaged? I mean, all these things, and you know, if it's yes to any of those, then it's like, right, it's not a good idea. Then.
Do we need to get electrical tape out?
Yeah, do
Listen,
we need, don't put any more damn tape over your fingers? No. No, honestly, I think I think a lot of that depends on personalities, and you're absolutely right, especially with like natural creators. I think we are very kind of like, well, yeah, we're I think by nature we're very impulsive, very trying to think outside of the box, and like, and as most creators know, if you don't really have somebody to reflect with, you can end up doing things that probably aren't always in the best, you know, decision for the brand, which is some of the decisions that I made, you know, in 2023, where I just didn't agree with half the stuff that I was doing. But because I was never reflecting with anybody and like I probably wasn't thinking properly, that's how it ended up happening. So since then, things have been, or business decisions that I make have been a lot more like tactical and a lot more like theoretical, based on here's what the whole picture looks like. Don't just do it because it looks good on the outside.
Well, here's a question for both yourself and Quack, because you both, because like Mrs. Loft hasn't got a scoop about content creation, doesn't she? She doesn't care. She just shows up here out of the way. Has it ever come the other way around? So like you say, you both say you go to your other halves and say, right, I've got this idea, blah blah blah. Do they ever bring ideas to you and you think, yeah, okay, I like that. Well, let's work on it, or is it straight away like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Go on, Star.
Want to start, Quack?
No, you can go first.
I think if I had to give like a meter, it's definitely like 80-20 me to her. Because my head never turns off. Whereas I wouldn't say like Nefi's like reactive, but she's very good at dealing with like what's like said to her and then like kind of looking at the whole picture and then kind of dissecting and here's where we should go. Whereas I definitely think that I'm the always looking at the next step, kind of like sporadic, kind of leading the brand in that regard. So it's like I'll just come in with this giant flame and then she'll dash loads of water over it, and then next thing you know, you got this beautiful little ember. That's probably the best way for me to describe it. But yeah, no, definitely kind of like 80-20 from me to her.
Yeah,
what about you, Quack?
It's pretty much the same. Like, Mrs. Quack I will come up with a base idea of like, oh right, I want to do this. Like take for Cardiff Creative Meetup, that's the end of next month now. I'm like, oh right, I want to try and do something, and then she'll stew on it for like a couple of days. She'll go, oh well, why don't you try this? I'm like, what do you mean? And then she'll explain. I'm like, oh, that's quite a good idea. Or like Stalin said, is I come in with this great big idea. Oh, I want to do this, and this, and she'll go, no, that doesn't work. Or like what Mrs. Quack is really, really good at, she's got like, do you know like when you do stuff like on Canva, she's got like an eye for detail, and I just be like, oh, what about this, and this? She's like, oh, that's like hurting my eyes. I'm like, yeah, but it all works. I'll explain it, and then she's just like, no, it just doesn't work. Like it works into a certain degree, but like you need to change it. So to the point of that, especially if she's in work or something, she will have like 4 or 5 images just come at her all the time and go, what about this? 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 And she's like, yeah, third one. And I'm like, right, good, happy days. And then it's like I have the seal of approval then. So I'm like, oh yeah, everyone will love this now, not just me. But Loft, because obviously this was very heavy of me and Stallion, because obviously I know our partners help, but I can get you involved now. You can get involved. Do you want to get involved into the show?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, let's bring on Mrs. Loft.
Let's bring Mrs. Loft in.
Mrs. Loft is behind that wall behind you, and she's going to tell you, like, oh, no, you need to change all this. Anyway, no. The other thing about getting behind-the-scenes help is through brands, and Carter Pulse is a big one, and it's quite poignant because I thought of it, oh, Lofty's using Carter Pulse quite a lot, but it just so happens another specific person on this panel is a marketing manager for them. Yes, it's me. I've been hiding it the entire time.
Oh God help Carter Paulson with your ideas, mate.
Hey,
Jesus.
they've been doing well so far, haven't they? No, so Stanley, you do offer help to other content creators. Don't worry, Loft, we'll get into it in a second. So for people who don't know what Carter Pulse is, give us a quick rundown of what Carter Pulse is.
Yeah, so they're a talent management agency who have been going now for probably like 5 years. Like really big in America. They spent the good first couple of years before even getting into talent management, just building up their network and speaking to creators, speaking to brands, understanding what do different people want in different situations, like how does it all work, how's the industry. One thing that's really good about our agency and our brand is that at the top level, all of our kind of like, I guess you can call them directors, but they're all they all come from the legal field. So like when it comes to like contracts and legalities and understanding, like, because as you guys know, in our field, it's basically the Wild West, right? There's almost next to no laws and no legalities on anything. Having them, and their experience on what they do with that means that they can always be on a level playing field, and nobody can ever really like pull a wool over our eyes or over our creator eyes, because they understand all the small talk in every contract. Also worth mentioning, they've actually been my personal talent managers for 3 years. So they managed Stallion before I worked for them, which a lot of people don't actually know. And that's how I ended up with the role that I'm in now, because when they did their European and UK expansion, they said, before we advertise this role, we've got a really good relationship with you. How do you feel about going into creative management? And I've done kind of like little bits here and there. I love working with creators. Obviously, I am one myself. And at the time, I was working part-time esports at a university, and they, when we talked about like wages and the work and how it would all work, it just all made sense, really, guys. So yeah, and that's kind of how I ended up where I am now, which is managing the live and the one programs for the EU side of Carter Pulse.
So how does it feel then? Because I'm not. I'll openly admit I'm not a part of Carter Pulse, mainly because my internet can't take TikTok and streaming at the same time. So we've literally just talked about how people giving us that outsider's perspective. You now, because from what I know, Carter Pulse right now has a good few, I want to say a good few hundred people.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact numbers, but a good few hundred people who have signed up and who have actively used this program and participate as often as they can and stuff. So how does it feel then having all of a sudden now you're, I don't want to say mentoring, but like you are offering all of your wealth of experience to this many people? Like what you said you did it for like a university, but that's what, in a class of 30 people maybe? And
Yeah, I mean,
now you're doing a
yeah.
Discord call with what, over 100 or like over 50 people?
Oh,
60
I was
people?
gonna say, I think the call I joined, it was like 130 people.
Yeah.
And we did our onboarding call.
Yeah, some of the numbers have been crazy, especially when we first started out and we really started bringing in volume into the program. Yeah, I don't know. It's a crazy one. I don't really ever look at it like that. I think just because I've been doing, like I said, I've been doing this kind of role like on and off for the last couple of years, just in kind of my own different ways, really. So I think creative management was always going to be a natural fit moving into where the industry is now, especially with all these new programs coming out, whether it's TikTok, whether it's, other platforms in future. I think you're going to start seeing a lot more of these kind of programs coming out for platforms, because platforms are really starting to understand the value of creators. And like TikTok was like one of the first big ones to really start monetizing the way that everything works, and just having people active and how important that is. I think this is going to become like an industry-wide thing in the next 5-10 years, and you'll even see your Twitch, your Kick, YouTube, they'll all have something similar to this. So I guess like it was kind of a good fit having my experience plus like the experience that they have, the guys I speak to at the NA side of the company over the last kind of like 6-7 months. They are just full of like good information, wealth of like experience, and they've just been incredible, really. Just the way that they offer their program, how everything is like free. A lot of these programs out there that do this, they like charge creators, or they'll have like hidden fees. They'll get you to sign contracts and all sorts of jargon, really. Whereas, the way that we kind of go about it is all just, it's kind of like made by creators for creators. So, I think that is something that really kind of like pulled me towards it. And I knew if I'm going to sell this program, it needs to be a program that I believe in as well, because it's going to be my reputation that's at stake. So I ain't going to sell or do anything that's going to be harmful to me or what I believe in. So it was just a really easy, natural fit. And it was really coincidental for me to get it when I got it. So
Yeah.
I think when you were saying about about the industry being like the Wild West.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this on previous shows, and we talked about the fact that like some brands see you become monetized, become a Twitch. I mean, you're going to become an affiliate or become monetized on TikTok or YouTube or wherever, whichever platform you are. Next thing you start getting messages from brands you've never heard of, and they're like, oh yeah, come in, we'll give you an affiliate code. We'll do this. And the things that I found working with Carter Pulse, as a member of the creators, is that they are. You guys are looking at brands properly for us, and it's like, okay, you're not going to suggest, you don't suggest brands, you don't suggest deals that are going to hurt us as smaller creators, especially people like myself, a part-time creator, people like Quack, if he ever joined the program, would be that it's like, okay, well, these are the brands that we think are worthy of people looking at, and it's never a, well, we're gonna say, have a look at these, and you look at them, and you're like, yeah, but I don't want nothing to do it. Yeah, but go, you do it, go and do it. From what I've seen, from what I've seen from the information you guys have been providing, it's really it's getting rid of all that, all the crud, getting rid of all the those worries and the traps and everything. There's no traps. There's no concerns. There's like, oh, if you don't sell, then we ain't going to work with you anymore. It's a case of these guys. We trust these guys. We've worked with these guys for the past. Why don't you give it a shot, see how you get on?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, their relationship in America just basically says it all, really. I mean, the creators that we have over there, the people that we've worked with, that reputation kind of leads itself. So I think moving over to Europe, the UK, with the amount of experience they've had, how long they've been doing it, all of that kind of stuff, it was a really natural fit. And the entire program is built for it to be creator centric and for people to have the flex and the ability to do what they want, but I think also, kind of one of the things that I'm really pushing for this year is also, to help and tell creators kind of like what they need to hear, but not always what they also want to hear, because I think it's also really important that people know how to step out of their comfort zones and understand what the opportunities are available. And it's like, before you like completely discard that opportunity, just hear me out and hear why it will be beneficial for you. So, and then at that point, if they say, I really don't want to do it, it's just like, okay, fair enough. You do you. But my goal in mind is, if I ever offer or we ever do anything in the program, is always with the, creators' growth in mind.
I was gonna say, I mean, when we were talking about the behind the scenes and stuff. I mean, one of the things that I thought was really good with the onboarding was like going through the processes, going through the stuff. With you representing us on TikTok as creators, and it's like, okay, you set yourselves up like this. Use. I mean, a lot of the time you see the information that you try as a creator. You look at other creators and you try to mimic. Because you try to use them as inspiration, and you try to put your own twist on it. Whereas the information that yourself and Carter Pulse give us, it's like, well, these are known, tried and tested techniques. They work. We see people within the program growing because they're doing X, Y, and Z, and it's not gate kept. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that like I was really impressed with on my onboarding, was the fact that when you spoke to everyone, it was like there was no gatekeeping. It was like, literally, guys, this is what you need to do. This is where you need to set it up this way. You mean to do this, and you might not see growth straight away, but you will see gradual increase in numbers, because the more content you do, the more opportunity people are going to get to see you. And if you're doing with the tried and tested method, yes, everyone's doing the same way, but it clearly works.
Yeah. I think that's really important. I think it's just important to understand that every individual is there because they want to get something out of it. And it's like, I've never agreed in the whole gatekeeping thing. Like, it's one of those things where like information is wealth. What goes around comes around, kind of thing. So the program is built to be open. It's built to be inclusive. And even just by the way the Discord like is laid out and how information is shared and the competitions that we do, everybody on the platform gets a fair chance at everything. So that's something that we really pride ourselves in.
Yeah. So I was going to say, there's actually, and it's quite ironic you said that in the next couple of years there's going to be loads of brands doing this. Now, I can't remember the brand's name, but there's a Welsh TikToker called Thomas Jones. and he talks really Welsh, he does, and he's proper Welsh. I don't know if it's an actor.
Is he more Welsh? Is he more Welsh than you?
I don't know if it's an act. It might be. I know he's Welsh, but like I can't remember the thing. But he was saying that I seen a TikTok of his the other day, and he's starting to back because Catapults works with TikTok, doesn't it? It's not just a brand of itself. It works with TikTok. And I was watching this TikTok and he was saying like, oh, I used to be an event manager and stuff like that, and then he said he was starting his own one, and he was like, oh, it's like one of the first ones ever. And as I was watching, I was like, yeah, it better be one of the first ones because Catapults is one of the first ones as well. Because I was just like, but you say like in the next couple of years, it's already happening. Catapults has been around in the UK for what, a year? Not even a full year?
Yeah, I mean, I was talking more on like even on the platform side of things.
Yeah.
So, you know, like these partner programs and stuff like that. I think we're really going to start seeing that become more of a common thing because, as you know, in any industry, competition makes the world go round. And the moment that one of them does it, it's like, well, why would I go to anyone else if this one is doing it now? So, like, Kick, obviously Kick has its own. Twitch doesn't have one yet, but I know it will. YouTube will, and they'll just get more and more and more competitive. And the best part about all of that is that the more competitive it gets, the more the creator wins. So it's I would say now is definitely a really exciting time to be a content creator, especially with how like the industry is going.
I think one of the best things, from a TikTok point of view, from the behind the scenes, the likes of Carter Pulse and some of the other agencies that you see coming through, are the fact that the help of getting onto that getting that foot on the ladder for, especially from TikTok Live, because the usual TikTok way of doing TikTok is what is it, 10,000 followers for you to get your key to go live.
It used to be like 50. It was nuts.
You know what I
man.
mean?
Yeah,
So
they really lowered it.
And if for someone who's just starting out, there's no way you're gonna be at it for years. You're gonna have to be pumping out content every day. Whereas the opportunities behind the scenes, as well as being the opportunities of getting setups, getting layouts, all the information that's been provided by yourselves, and then on top of that, it's like we've got to deal with TikTok. We're going to get you a key, go live, and then what we'll do is after a certain amount of time, we'll sit you down. We'll say, okay, how you feeling? And I think that's massive. That's a massive help because it's like, wait a minute, they're actually giving me the opportunity. They actually believe in me, and I think that gives you. I mean, just like you got with your other half, and you got Mrs. Quack, that belief. Someone having that belief in you gives you that little extra want to go further, and then you do put the extra, put the extra step in, and then you start driving yourself forward rather than dragging it because you're like, oh, I'm going nowhere. I got this, I got the same followers and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think as well with like Stein was saying is going down the line of saying to people, oh well, maybe you should try this, and people might not take it to it well, but if you're as serious as at least the three of us are about our content, if someone says, oh, I think you should consider this, you should really just at least consider it. I'm not saying go for with everybody's suggestion, because they might suggest something and you go, that doesn't fit what I do, but then you might just turn around and go, do you know what, I'll give it a bash. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
I'll say you ate an egg.
I did.
So at least you listen to someone.
Right, Stallion's face. I need to preference.
I was confused.
I'm an incredibly fussy eater, and for a charity stream, I had to eat a boiled egg. I ate one bite, and it came straight back out.
No way. That's great. Oh my god.
The worst two, because that was like the worst one I could have done for the incentives. The worst one before that, banana was pretty bad.
Really?
Yeah, it was rank. It's
disgusting.
Oh,
he's super fussy. He's super fussy.
The texture of that banana, oh god, disgusting. And as well, I've discovered hummus is disgusting.
So you talked about Twitch bringing on programs like this, and Kick's already got a similar program that you can sell some mods. Do you have mods, or is your other half your mod as well as being your marketing manager?
I'm assuming you mean for like the live streams?
Yeah, for your live streams.
Yeah, no, I have my mod teams. Yeah, so between like TikTok and Twitch, they're like two different teams, but they like work in unison. if that makes sense.
Yeah, and similar to you, are they content creators themselves? Or do they work? I mean, do they work for you full time, or is it like part of? You mean, is it something that they volunteer to be, and someone that you mean? I'm guessing that it's people that you've been with a while, and you've clearly trust them enough to protect the brand.
Yeah, that's basically it, really. It's people that have been around for a long time, have shown like real loyalty to the brand, and have. I always say, like, before I give anybody a mod, they basically act like a mod already. So, you know, if they do get that role, then it's kind of like they've shown me that they're capable of doing that, and like they would add value to being that kind of like front face of the community. So, also to go back to your last question, Nefi also like helps with modding where she can, but obviously, like, you know, she's quite busy a lot of the time. So
she's a busy girl by the sounds of it.
she is. She's just, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know how the hell she does it, honestly.
I was gonna say, keeping you grounded.
Do you know,
I know, mate.
While we're all sat here having a laugh, she's getting his next 4 brands lined up.
Yeah. Is that true?
So with your community and all your mods and stuff like that, do you know, for the Stallion brand, and this question's just popped in my head right now, for the Stallion brand, do you know, like, the world is going exactly how Stallion plans it? Would you want to have your mods and stuff like that like you like Pirate Software is, where he literally pays his mods to be his mods?
I mean, obviously, I would love that. You know, that would be the dream, to be in like that financial freedom, just to be able to pay any kind of like position for that for it to be full time. But you know, between that, all the other outgoings that go out in the business, it's almost next to impossible, because I'm also investing in my own future and looking to expand my brand. So once you start adding all of those levels of payments as well, it would be like almost next to no point, right? Like, it's obviously something that you'd love to do. I think any creator would love to do it, but I think it's just, like, how much do you invest the brand versus do those people do it because they love to be there and they want to support you anyway, kind of thing. It's not really about the monetary side of it, because even if they weren't mod, that they would be there basically doing that role anyway, because that's how they kind of like perceive and how much they enjoy watching the show and stuff.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I've got a couple of mods. I know you've got what, at least 3 mods, Quack?
Yeah, 4?
4? 3, 4? Yeah.
Does Mrs. Quack count? Because she has to be a mod, regardless.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're saying, Stallion, like the fact that they've got they've got the belief in the brand. You know what I mean? As you said, like, you mean they act like mod. They act like mods, and then they've got the chance that they're going to become a mod. And clearly, they've got they've got the same mentality as you as the creator. They've got your best your protection. There to protect you, protect your community, make sure that everyone is having a great time, and regardless of whether they're being paid or not. Clearly, anyone who does a mod job, and we appreciate. By the way, guys, we appreciate anyone who is a mod. We appreciate you massively, because they clearly are having as much fun as we're doing. They're clearly loving the brand as much as we love our brands. Whether it be Stallion, whether it be Quack, whether it be Game Loft, they clearly want you to succeed and are there to enjoy the journey with you.
And drive us mental.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
What about blah blah blah? Let me try that again. Right? So. No, I forgot I was going to start the question. Anyway, so with your mods, we've talked about Nefi taking a load of the marketing and stuff like that, taking that off your shoulders. You are then taking all that energy and putting it into other people, into helping develop their brands. With your mods, I'm just literally going to focus on your mods for a second. Do they take a load of pressure off as well? Because, for example, one of my mods, as I say, my hashtag top mod, Bobby Penguin, any clips that have been on my TikTok in the past, probably want to say year, have all been from her. So I even said the other day, I was like, oh, I want to really thank her, because like one of my TikToks did quite well. And I was like, oh, I really want to thank you for all the TikToks. And she went, no, thank you for making the content. I was like, oh yeah. I felt like I was stealing her work, and I was like, no, it's still I'm still a person doing it. I'm like, but she's there, and she has taken so much weight off. Because now she's done all these really funny clips, and all I have to do is edit them ever so slightly, like shorten them or whatever. And next thing, I'm gonna post them on TikTok, and I've got like 3 weeks worth of content now. So like, do your mods do that for you as well in terms of clips and get all your funny bits ready for you?
So the clips and the content side of things is done completely separately. We either work in house or we work with like our own content teams to get stuff done. The mods in our channel are specifically for just keeping the day-to-day running of the live streams, because that's where that's what they're, in my opinion, they're best at least my team at kind of like doing what they're like really good at, where they've always shown their experience. So that's the whole content side of it, I think, is a big different like subdivision to that. But then they also help manage things like the Discord, the day-to-day running of the streams, all of that stuff. I like to class them as kind of like the front line between anarchy and me, although they cause the anarchy sometimes. So yeah, that doesn't help.
So you,
I was gonna say, it sounds like your stream, Quack. Your mods cause anarchy as much as Stallion sounds.
anything with TTS, anything to do with TTS is brilliant. But it literally, by the sounds of it, the Stallion brand it's a brand, but it's a massive machine by the sounds of it.
There's a lot of stuff going on, yeah.
Wow.
To say the least, yeah.
So I thought you were gonna be like, yeah, your mods do clips and stuff like that. I was like, oh yeah, I'm on the same thing as Stanley. Like, no, I've got like another brand. I've got another subdivision that's in the other house. That's in the shed. That's like 2 stories tall.
I don't know about no other house. I wish I did. That sounds lit.
He's got, you know what it is, chat. He's got his mods all in the shed, and he just brings them out every time he goes live. Go on then.
Why do you say that? Because my mods say that I never feed them or anything. So
get some fresh air.
Yeah, that's what they say. They say that I never feed them and I hold them captive.
To be
Well,
fair,
I was going to say, we've got our other caster, Moonchild. She's in the box at the moment, isn't she?
she is right now. Yes, she's in the box.
That's where Quack keeps us. You see, when we're not doing content with StreamSeed, he puts us back in the box.
Best place to be. Right. Okay. So that's all the serious questions out the way. So, Stallion.
Yeah.
Do you have any pre-stream rituals?
Take a deep breath because it's probably going to be nuts. I mean, that's the usual.
Out of context, sorry. How long do you normally stream for?
So I normally go live 5 to 6 days a week, and the average stream is about 2.5 to 3 hours ish.
Right.
I'd say 3 hours.
Okay.
So yeah, and then I guess like it's gonna sound really corny, but before I turn like my entire, I don't know if you guys are like Christian or Catholics. I'm not practicing religious either. Like when I turn my entire setup on, I always do the cross sign, mainly because I don't want my dual PC to die or something to go wrong with audio or my camera.
It's not religious. It's just you hoping that everything turns on.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I'm about to turn this camera on. Please,
that's working.
Like, please.
That's working.
Yeah, and that's not again. Touch wood. It's worked so far, so let's keep it going. You know.
And it's quite funny you say that. I was gonna stream. What was it? Must have been yesterday, and I needed to restart the PC for some reason, and then I restarted it, and my right monitor just didn't come back on, and I was I'm like, what are you doing? The left one came on. I was like, whoa. So I restarted again. Perhaps it's PCs do that. It's fine. Didn't come back on. I was like, what are you doing? You need to come back on. I need you right now. But it did eventually come back on for no rhyme or reason. I disconnected everything, plugged it all back in, still didn't work, restarted it, came back on. I was like, okay, I'm never touching that again.
Yeah, you can't make it up, can you, with technology? It's so stupid.
Yeah. And sometimes it is as simple as just turning it off and on again and it'll work.
Yeah.
Which is the stupidest thing. So you don't... Go on, Love.
I was going to say, same question to you then. Do you have any rituals? I mean, other than playing with your beard, of course.
I play with my beard. That's just, I don't even know why I do that. It's just, I do.
Which looks good today, by the way. Just thought I'd throw that out
there. Don't give him that. Don't give him that. You make his head grow, man.
Stallion,
Stallion,
how do you feel about being a caster for StreamSeed?
If
your business is not, if you can fit us in every other week, that's absolutely fine with me.
It's funny you say that because I've actually got a really good guest for next week. His name is Gaming Loft. I don't know if you've heard of him before.
I've heard of this young rapscallion before. I don't know.
Okay, actually, now you're just trying to butter me up by calling me young.
Sorry. as Brian Dredd said, working in IT for 15 years, 80% of problems are a reboot sorted out.
Yeah.
If that doesn't sort it out, a hammer.
Yeah.
Whoa, I paid
and
that.
it brings everything-
just
brings
boot it out
everything
the
with a
window.
hammer.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, just yeet it. So Quack routine. I know you do have a stream routine.
So I just make sure that everything's make sure everything's working. But I've noticed lately, my PC's updated a number of times, and I don't know why, but sometimes when I go to play something, the audio will cut off something else. So I could say if we're in a Discord call now, and then I put, I don't know, Euro Truck Simulator, because that's what I've been playing loads lately. I put that on, all of a sudden I can hear the game, but I can't hear the Discord. I'm like, why is that? Don't know. So what I do now is I open applications in specific order. So I make sure the game is open first, then I'll open OBS, because I'm like, right, if all else fails, my basic two that I need are open. It's fine. And then I open things very slowly. But like, yeah, I always have a little candle like I have right now, going with an oil burner, so it makes the room smell lovely. But it tends to be the last thing I put on is my lights. But yeah, I tend to, I have to have things in order, otherwise, no, just no.
Hey, if it works, why not, right?
Yeah. Loft, do you have one?
I don't. You know what? I don't. For me, the last thing I do before I stream is dad duty. So I suppose my pre-stream ritual is reading a story to my little one, which is really corny. I know.
Oh, stop trying to get wholesome in you. It ain't gonna work.
No. I mean, for me, yeah. So it's dad duties. Make sure I got some hydration, because I mean, when you're starting, you use it, yourself. You mean 2 or 3 hours. You mean of constant chat,
I know it.
constant chat. Constant chatting.
Yeah.
I mean, Quack's been doing it tonight already. You need to keep yourself hydrated.
Yes.
Because otherwise you just because people said to me like, oh, all you're doing is playing computer games. So no, I'm actually being entertained. I'm actually got to talk to people. I'm actually got to you're actually got to like put myself out there. So you do have to keep yourself. So I do have to be. So I always make sure I've got something. Make sure always make myself hydrated. And then I suppose just do the usual content creator thing of saying, guys, I'm going live soon. Come and join me. And you can find me here. And that's it. That's my routine. And then I hit that glow button. But Quack, the reason we can't have nice things is because you press buttons, mate. That's not your routine. They're just no buttons.
Yeah, true. do you know what? That is what. I'm glad you said that. The other thing that I do just before I press the go onto my just chatting screen is I always have to get into that mindset of like, right, here we go. Because there's nothing worse, and I think we've all experienced it at least once, of just going onto your just chatting screen being, oh, what's happening? You're right. Yeah. And you
Literally.
you miss that mark. And I'm not saying it happens all the time. Sometimes I sit here and I'm just like, right, come on, let's go. Hey, come on, let's go. But then there's other times I gotta just let's go. Right, okay, yes, let's get this going. And then 10 minutes in, I'm landed and everything is perfectly normal. But sometimes it does need a bit of a boost. Right, Loft, can you remember? Because Stallion, you know Carlton the Welsh, don't you? Do you know Carlton the Welsh?
Sounds familiar.
Do you know Carlton the Welsh? I mean, come on, dude. Just because you know everybody.
No, because
sounds familiar, but I'm not sure.
Because I was gonna say, Loft, can you remember Carlton's pre-stream ritual, or what he does before he streams? Otherwise, he doesn't stream.
He has specific things. So like he has to eat. He has to go to the bathroom. He has to
have a shower first, doesn't he?
Yeah. It's almost like if he doesn't shower, doesn't go to the bathroom, doesn't eat something, he can't stream.
And
he physically doesn't feel right. It feels it doesn't. You know how you find yourself. You wake up one morning. You wake up in the morning. You hit, I feel like absolute garbage, and you're like, I've got to do a stream because it's in your case, Sally, this is your income. So you say it's like, I feel like absolute garbage, but I've got to go to work. And you come onto your stream and you try and put all that energy out, as you would do any other stream, but your viewers just know that you just not got it there.
Oh yeah.
for him, he said that if he doesn't do his routine, he is exactly like that.
Yeah.
He's like, no, my stream's just cack.
No,
And people can tell.
the one thing with Carlton, he has a fantastic mustache. Like he has got like the curliness to his mustache. It is top notch. I have a luscious beard. I will pat myself on the back with that. But nobody can get on the same level as Carlton and his mustache. And he's even said when he waxes it, if it doesn't go right, he's just like something's gonna go wrong, so he can't stream. And he's like, I've got to get it right, which to me is mental. But at the same time, I completely understand it.
Hey, if it's not twizzled a certain way, I get it. You know,
Yeah.
not that I know, but like I get it.
Is there any superstitions that you have before you stream? You know, other than praying that everything works, everything's turned on, everything's gonna power up and things. Is there anything superstitious wise that you do you go in and give the other half a high five, and if you don't get a high five, you're like, nope, it's going wrong.
Not really. I don't think so. Anyway, I'm gonna have to start thinking about that now if I actually do it, but I don't know. Apart from when I turn my setup on, once I see everything's working from that point, I just would like to assume that the day is gonna go normal, and if it doesn't, I'll just be really angry with like what's going on. But yeah, I'll just log on to Fortnite and take it out on anybody who I end up running up against. So it's okay. I have my ways of dealing with it. So yeah, no, I don't think so. Superstitious wise.
Do you know what you say about Fortnite? And this is a little bit of a side tangent. So I used to play Fortnite quite a bit, and I know Stallion, you play a lot of Fortnite because that's what the code is behind you. Is use code Stallion for what is it? I'm completely out of touch with it that much.
Creator code, dude.
Hell yeah.
Even I know that. I don't play Fortnite. Even I know it's a creator code.
Cool. What does it do? What does a creator code do?
So if you when you buy anything from Fortnite, if you put the creator code in, they'll get a bounce back.
Yeah.
Ah, that's pretty cool. Anyway, no, but
I didn't play Fortnite. I'm the old one.
This actually touches into the thing of it. So I used to play Fortnite quite a bit, but now I play PUBG quite a lot more.
Oh yeah.
And I went back to Fortnite a couple of weeks ago. Oh my god, that game is so fast! Like how do you play it that fast? Because I was just like, oh yeah, it's just PUBG. It's just what I say is it's like the brighter version of what PUBG is. I was like, yeah, it's fine. I can easily do that. And it's like, oh my god, oh what's the everything's so fast. Oh, I don't like it. So
I was gonna say it's the Disney version, isn't it? It's the Disney version of like Call of Duty and PUBG. You see, I think is why. With the greatest respect to you, Stanley, as a Fortnite creator, it's why there's a lot of kids are drawn to it because and parents are a lot happier about the kids playing Fortnite rather than playing Call of Duty. Because you don't have the same gore. It's not gory. There's no gore.
Yeah.
You die, you get digitally removed from the map. You don't. Whereas, like, you play Call of Duty, you're seeing blood, gore, stabbing, whatever, and everything. It's just not. Yeah, it's not right.
So this is a little side question, Stalin. You said you went away from COD. Are you purely a Fortnite streamer now?
Yeah, I mean, that's where I do most of my content. I like to try and focus on a niche or like a subgenre because it helps build I guess like longevity in a brand, especially when you're doing videos and it's always based around the same game, or if you're playing the same game most of the time, then you'll know generally like who your audience is that's going to turn up. Whereas the more you kind of like mix it up and the more you try and like add different things, it's going to make it harder because people will come not just for you, but they'll also expect a certain game. And if you don't have that certain game, it's like, well, I'll come back when the game is back, sort of thing. So like I try and keep it mostly to that. I don't mind like adding in like the other elements. Like I'm quite big into my like dungeon crawlers, so I do play or I have been playing like a little bit of like Path of Exile 2 recently, and some other bits. But yeah, I try and keep it based on one game and one kind of like genre, so that my content always has like a flow to it. That's why I did COD for 5 years, but I had to move away from COD just because I don't like the way that it's gone and just the decisions they made. I don't like just a lot of like the decisions on the current games and stuff. So for me, I just needed something that was really long-term and safe for my brand. And that's why I chose Fort, because it's so safe. It's been out for 7 years. It's so relevant, so many updates, so much content. It is like what every creator aspires their game to be in terms of like the amount of stuff that comes out for it. So,
and as well, it's free. So if you have people who you know and trust, and you'd be like, do you fancy just jumping in for a game or something? They literally can't.
Exactly.
There's no real. Oh well, I can't really pay because like it's free, mate. Just get it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So again, another side question that has popped into my head. So with I like my side questions. So with because obviously with you and Carter Pulse, you're very heavy into your TikToks now. You go live on TikTok every time you stream. Are we and this Loft, you can tap into this as well because we did this on Doughnut Bites.
Well, thank you very much for the
Welcome to the cast, Loft.
thank you very much for the permission to join to join the cast again.
You're very welcome. Would you ever see the Stallion brand going outside? Like, oh, it sounds so weird. Outside and touching grass, because what my point was is that.
Oh, so what you're trying to ask him is, Stallion, would you do live streams as in real live streams, not as in IRL streams, not gaming streams?
Yeah, I mean, I've debated it for a long time, actually. Like, even when I was leaving Call of Duty, I asked myself, is this the avenue that I want to go down? Because, you know, if you find the right kind of like sub niche in that, it can really work out for you. But I don't know. I think it's just the way that I am as a creator, and I guess just like the things that I enjoy. Gaming just makes so much sense because it's always been something that I've been interested in, like growing up, like my entire life. So, yeah. I don't know. It's definitely been something that I've like wanted to try out, and I have done like content and videos like around it for a little bit. But in regards to live streams, I'm so like used to gaming. It's always been the thing that I've always done outside of like my day job and stuff. So that's why naturally it's always been kind of like the best fit for me. But yeah, no, it's definitely played on my mind like a lot before.
Okay, so your streams are done. Your views are happy. You've had your subs. You've had your biddies thrown to you. You had your raids. You press the stop streaming button. What is your post stream? Do you have like a post stream ritual? Do you, because you raid after every stream, I'm assuming, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you stick around in your raid? Like do you have a routine of when you're done? If I'm guessing you don't have a pre-stream routine, you probably don't have a post-stream routine.
I mean, if I'm honest with you guys, my day's packed to the literal second, like every day, 6 days a week. So the moment I finish that stream, it's like on to the next task. There's no sitting around and kind of like waiting for stuff to happen. I don't mind like sitting in a raid for like 5 minutes or whatever, but then like today, for example, I had my meetings and all the stuff that I had to do today, get all my stuff done for my other job. Then I streamed at 3:30 until 6:30, had food. I had a call with the creator at 7, and then I was with you guys by 7:35. Then we have this cast, and then as soon as this cast is done, I've still got to get some little bits done. So it's like, yeah, it's just that constant, like, I like to plan every single day out by the second, which is why I'd like to think that we're super organized in what we do and like how we get so much done in a week. Like, some people do ask me that, like, how do you just do all this stuff in a week? And it's like, well, I know what I'm going to do every second of every day, so it becomes like quite easy to do it when you're optimizing like every minute of every day, if that makes sense.
Well, I'm going to be gay controversial now. Is it you who knows what you're doing every second, or is it Needy knows what you're doing every second?
No, it is me. I'll actually show you, because this is something that I really do pride myself in. Let me just show you March, for example, just kind of on the cuff. Can you see this?
Oh my god!
Is that your diary?
That's
oh my
March.
gosh!
So when people like message me and they're like, "Oh, why have you not replied yet?" or this and that, and I'm like, I try to explain to people how busy I am.
Oh,
it's because I'm a busy fella. Oh my! That looks like that looks like my work diary.
People don't understand until like you're actually in it and doing it. So like, yeah, when I say I like to keep busy to the second, we truly mean it. Yeah.
Oh my god!
It's a crazy life.
How you do that?
I just wake up and just put my head down and get it done. Simple as that, really, guys. To be honest, I don't know how else to say it. To be honest,
this is gonna sound really, really weird, but like, do you have to like get up at a specific time? Because before we started, you said it's like a 13-hour day tends to be.
Ish. Yeah, I normally start.
Ish.
Yeah, we would normally start the day at around 9, and then our typical day finishes at about 9:30 or 10 at night. And a little bit of that time is either going for a walk or going to the gym, whatever we're doing. Obviously make time for food and stuff, but aside that, everything else is just work / what we're doing in the day. So yeah, a good 10 to 11 hours of the day is just let's get stuff done.
Wow.
But then it pays off, right? You look at it on the other
Well,
side.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you look at it on the other side, all the things that we're doing and the things that we're achieving. It's like that's only really possible by doing stuff like that. So
It is true. It is true. Like the cliche of the more you put into it, the more
yeah.
opportunities arise from doing the hard work.
Yeah, I tried to say it exactly as it is, and a lot of people just generally do not believe it until I physically show them what I just shown you guys, because they're like, the reaction is usually the same, like, what is that?
I was gonna say, literally, we need to get a screenshot of your how busy your diary is, because we get really. I mean, I've got nephews, I've got nieces and nephews, and they're like, oh, I want to do what you do, I want to do what you do, and it's like, okay, but I do it part time. I go to a full time job, and then I do this on top of this, and like you do realize that if you do this as a career, there's no guarantee. As with any career, there's no guarantee that you're gonna continue doing the career for years. I mean, I'm hopefully fingers crossed that that yourself and other creators that do this full time get a good period of time as content creators, and it doesn't phase out. But you know, what I mean, as an average full-time job is what, 40 to 50 hours a week, whereas clearly from your diary, and as you're saying, you're doing like 10 to 13 hours a day. You're working about 80-hour. You're working like 80-hour weeks. And when you tell someone, you tell the kids like, "Oh, you're gonna be working 80 hours a week," and they're like, "Ugh."
I mean, we're like we're obviously OTT because of all the stuff that we have going on, but it's just, again, because we don't have things like kids, and we're both super driven, and we both really want to like see how far we can push ourselves over the next kind of like 5-10 years. And because we both really enjoy what we do, it's a really easy natural fit. So like I said to you guys, even before the car started, it doesn't feel like work to us, at least on the most part. Some days it definitely can, but yeah, not on the most part.
I think that realism of how much time content creation can take up your life. You know, when you say to people, oh yeah, if you want to do this full time, you're looking at doing twice a full time job. They're like, no, yes, you will. Especially if you like you say, you're very lucky. I mean, because you got multiple members of your team. You got your mod team. You got Needy. You've got Carter Pulse, things like you got all those different people. But at the same time, you've got some creators that are flying solo. You mean, do full time content creation and flying solo, doing editing, doing marketing, doing everything on their own, and that's where you're clearly doing. You guys as a team are clearly, even though as you said you're driven, you're clearly doing 80-hour weeks, because that's where you can do it.
Yeah.
If you're on your own, and 78-hour weeks is probably the minimum you're going to be doing. And I think,
that's what I was doing.
I think seeing that realism makes people realize, actually, not that I'm not trying to scare people, but I think it puts into context that actually, if you do this, you are going to be working long hours. You are going to be having to sacrifice things to be able to achieve this.
Yeah, I think it just really depends on how much you want it and what you want from it. I mean, there is no kind of like other way around it, really. If you really want it, you're not putting the time in, there are other people that are. So it's as simple as like, how bad do you want it, sort of thing.
And I think as well, it shows that like Lofty says, the more work you put in, it is going to come out, or it's only going to come out well for you, because you're saying you're putting like an 80-hour work weekend. Well, it's technically 160 because both of you are doing it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's that's insane. So would you want to? Could you ever see yourself bringing on like another person, someone obviously you fully trust, or something like that, maybe your mother, of like someone you trust to get that third person in? Like, could you see yourself building that way, or are you happy with just the two of you?
I mean, she's barely even learned how to use a phone, so it definitely won't be my mum. Big up to her, but it won't be her, obviously. But no, I mean, I've had this conversation with Nefi over like the last year, and like, we definitely, if we really wanted to, could expand with another one, if not two individuals. But like right now, we are able to keep and manage it all here. But I mean, I try to be of the business sense of like, I will always expand if there's opportunity for me to expand. Because the moment you sit still on business or you get comfortable with stuff is when the moment when things start going wrong. So I'm always looking for kind of like the next level. How do I get there? And I think, the part of the process of getting older is just realizing there's no way you can do it all on your own. And I learned a lot of that since bringing Nefi on, just how much more efficient we've been. So yeah, definitely. I mean, later down the line for sure, obviously seeing how financials and how the content like industry work, like goes. But you know, if the opportunity ever presents itself, there definitely could be another person, another 2 people later down the line on the working on the brand, like part time, if not full time. So,
Do you know, just from listening to all that, I need a nap. It's like you're so late
me
because
too.
I
Me
need
too.
you must sleep like a baby every night.
I really do.
I would
I
say-
value sleep so much.
But
So much.
Imagine just having like this morning. I woke up. My daughter was like, I pretty much woke up with my daughter in my bed. And I was like, "When did you turn up?" And Mommy in work. I'm like, "Oh, you've been here a while. Okay." And for you, it must be just be like, if you want a nap during the day, you must be like, "Can't nap. Must sleep later. Just enjoy sleep later."
Basically. Yeah, no, 100%.
You can't enjoy a good nap. You can't, like, you would have to schedule a nap, like a nap. You
I
can't-
literally would.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's something so thing about that of just going, oh, I have to schedule a nap, but it's so sad. You can't just look at your settee and just be like, I'm gonna have an hour. I'm so privileged to have a nap. Everyone in the chat right now, I haven't really acknowledged chat. Appreciate your naps. Oh, because
This is the creators of the nap table now.
I don't get a nap. I don't get to nap.
yes, you do on the weekends. You do.
No. Seriously, on weekends I don't even get to nap on weekends because
Well, to be fair, I do love a good nap. I don't get them as much as I used to now since my daughter's been born. But hey, I did used to appreciate a really good, bloody good nap. Oh, right.
Talking about naps, it's bedtime for you.
It is. I would like to say that
It is.
baby Quack's gone to bed, but she's not. She's staying up at her grandmother's tonight, so get in there. But yeah, Stallion, first of all, I would like to thank you incredibly much for being on the donut table for the second time.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
I can only hope the next time will be another live one, but let's get some events going first, shall we?
Yep.
I was gonna say, wait, didn't you say that he's the new caster?
Oh yeah, you'll be here in 2 weeks'
You give him a
time.
job, yeah.
Yeah. And we'll have a meeting about this now and after this chat now, and we'll.
Don't worry, Loft. You're going to be my first guest anyway. So.
What we'll do, dude. I'll get Moonchild to scooch up in the box, so there's a bit of space for you in the box with the rest of us.
Yeah, sweet. Just move him into Stalin's house. You can be little. You can have your little.
Oh, we'll go live in his. We'll go live in his shed.
Yeah. Live with his mods.
I don't know how big you think this shed is, guys. Mate. I'm telling you, it is not that big, honestly.
I do like my shed. Oh my god, this is such a bragging thing, but it sounds so wrong. My shed's really big. I've got a really big shed.
Let's swap sheds.
Okay. I think you can leave that there because I know that.
Do you know what? Do you know after this, I'm gonna find my picture of shed and I'm gonna show you, Pam. My shed is massive. Anyway, so sorry about that. Anyway, yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank everyone in the chat. I do apologize for not acknowledging you as much today, but Stallion's work ethic is insane, so I just want to try and get as much detail as I could. But Stallion, what I like to say at the end of all these streams is Mr. Slippers, or as we like to call him, Mrs. Slippers.
Mrs. Slippers.
I like to use him as an example. So this is now where you can impart your knowledge, like you haven't imparted enough lately. Mr. Slippers is a content creator. What does he stream? What's that game? The space game.
Oh, Starfield.
Starfield, yeah.
So he streams Starfield. He has his branding's all good and stuff like that, but he does it all to himself. So for behind the scenes work, what would advice? He's just thinking to himself, how can I take myself to the next level or stuff like that? What kind of advice would you give Mr. Slippers?
Do you mean as a creator?
Yeah.
So what kind of advice would you say from behind the scenes, similar to what you do and what Nefi does? What would you recommend for him to take his content to the next level? What does he need to do behind the scenes?
Yeah, I mean, it's something I could talk about forever if I'm honest. But I mean, to give it kind of like a real quick overview, I think you have to find your it's exactly there's the thing with content creation that I think a lot of people forget is that it's no different from building a business. If you're building a business or you're building a brand, in every brand and business that you build, there always needs to be a unique selling point. There needs to be a niche. There needs to be marketing strategies, all of these things. And I think because a lot of us do like gaming content or that we're like streamers or whatever, I don't know why, but a lot of creators don't treat it like that. And they'll just be like, oh, maybe I'll just kind of like go live and hope that this works out. And then I'll go from this to this. And it's like, if that's kind of like your approach to it, then Like you're not building an actual plan that's going to help you get to where you want to get to. So ultimately, from setting your yearly goals to like, what are you trying to achieve this week? What's the long-term goal for the brand? How do I position myself? So what game am I playing? Is there an audience for that game? Who's the target market? How do I theme my streams around this? How do I stand out? Again, like I said, we could talk about this for like literally ever, but I mean, it's, to come down to it, just literally treat it like you were starting your own business. And I can assure you'll find a lot more success in it.
There we go then. So, I think we should call that a day, gents. What do you think?
I think that sounds like a good. I think that sounds like a good end. At least we know Mrs. Lippers is going to be able to go away and start a business as a creator.
Exactly.
And forget me when you're famous, Mrs. Lippers.
And it's
we got Sally calling Mrs. Lippers.
and it's nearly 9:30, and Stallion's got about another hour and a half's work to do. So we need to get him off as quick as we can now. It's not us. It's not us. It's his schedule. You've seen it. Anyway, so Loft, thank you again for being with us today.
You're very welcome. You
yeah, thanks, boss. Appreciate you joining the cast, bro.
Cheers, man. I feel like I've really enjoyed myself. I'd love to come again.
Yeah.
It's been great because like me and Stallion have had conversation. I mean, I've listened to his intros when I've been in his streams a couple of times. He shout out, "Yo, I'm getting Loft. How are you doing, man?" And now we've actually seen each other face to face as well, so he knows what one of his content creators looks like.
Oh, there we go. So Loft. On that note. Look down the back. Oh, whoa.
No, you're gonna make me do it again. But I was gonna say let's give Stallion the opportunity as the guest.
But okay, let's go that way, Stallion.
Yeah.
There's a very specific. We have two specific things we do on the stream. The first one you're gonna do now. What you need to do is you need to tell, even though there's a lot of your community here, which is lovely to see. You need to look down the barrel of your camera. And you need to tell us what you've got going on and give yourself... This is your chance to shine, like you don't shine enough already. Just tell everyone what you've got going on and what you're doing and who are you again.
Okay, right, ready? Hold on. I got you. Give me a sec. Guys, here's what I got going on. Enjoy.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. If you would like to know more in depth than that, drop me a message and I'll get back to you within 7 to 14 working days. Thank you.
But yeah,
was that a witty enough ending?
I think that's got to be the shortest self promo I've ever seen.
We like breaking records here, guys.
Yeah,
so I'm happy with that.
We'll do that. Lofty, what have you got going on? Look down the barrel of your camera. Let's send this puppy home.
Let's send the puppy. We got puppies now, are we? Oh yeah. So you guys, we got Monster Hunter Wilds coming out this week, so we'll be jumping onto that. And of course the usual open lobbies and continuing with my journey on TikTok Live.
And of course, I've been Quack My Panda. I'm your variety streamer of all sorts. When am I back? I'm not streaming till like Sunday now because of because of work.
Sounds like a lot of naps.
That's the reason why he's not streaming till Sunday is because he's napping.
I'm
back tomorrow. I'm back tomorrow, guys. You can find me and Stallion on live tomorrow. Stallion will be on for his time. I'll be on for my time. Quack will be napping.
While I'm napping, these two are grafting away and taking all the glory and stuff like that. I'm just having a nap. I'm happy with that. But don't forget as well, Streamseed are going to be a Cardiff Creative Meetup on the 31st. Oh my god, I forgot the date. Is it 31st?
The 30th, isn't it?
31st of February.
No,
30th of March.
30th of March.
30th of February. Wow, that's because your diary's all messed up.
That's true.
It's the 30th of March where there's going to be a Cardiff Creator Meetup in the Tram Shed. So if you are going, or if you're a resident of the Cardiff area, make sure you do come along. And don't forget, everyone, next week we won't be on the channel, but will be Doughnut Bites where myself and Lofty will be discussing basically what we discussed today. We'll be talking everything about Stallion. Good, bad, you'll have to tune in and find out, which is on Spotify. It's called Streamseed's Doughnut Bites. If you're not subscribed, make sure you are. Loft, it's going to be a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good one. I'm looking forward to it.
I've got my notes ready for the stream, for the podcast, and all I've got down so far is Stallion's work ethic. That's all I've got.
Do you want to see my notes of the night?
If you really want, guys, like
that's my notes of the night.
What?
Scribbles.
What?
That's basically what my head looks like every day I wake up.
Oh, right. Anyway, Stanley's got a mountain of work to do. Apparently, I've got to have a nap now. So, everyone, right. So, this is the second thing we do, Stan. You got to look at the camera now because this is for the Twitter picture. Now,
Okay.
I've got to make sure as well that we can actually capture it because for the past 2 streams, we haven't captured it. So, you got to look at your camera and you've just got to wave. That's all you got to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
the last stream we did, Stanley, I was looking at my other screen, and so it looks like I'm looking at something else other than the chat, and then Streamseed absolutely rinsed me for it, saying, "Oh, we'll give you a prize if you can tell us what Lofty's looking at," and everyone's trying to guess what I was looking at. I was looking at myself, if I'm honest.
Right, let's get this wave underway now. So I'm going to watch it even on the stream as well. So everyone, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time, but we'll be back on the podcast next week. Everyone, wave and say goodbye.